हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय ददालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण। Thank you so much, dear devotees, for joining the study of the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as we saw, was on his way to the land of Sri Vrindavan Dham. After repeated attempts and repeated pleas, um, he finally got the permission of his associates to go to the land of Sri Vrindavan Dham. Even after sannyas, Mahaprabhu had not been. Ideally, after sannyas, Mahaprabhu wanted to make the base. He wanted to settle down in the land of Sri Vrindavan Dham. But because his mother, that is Sachi Devi or Sachi Mata, she didn't want Mahaprabhu to be in Vrindavan. Why? Not because of spiritual reasons, but because of motherly parental affection. She said that Nimai, if you are in Vrindavan, then Vrindavan and Mayapur are very far. So I will not get any news about what you're doing. But if you are in Jagannath Puri, and Jagannath Puri is very close by. So people will naturally keep coming here and there. Some go to Jagannath Puri, some come back to Mayapur. So as people are going there, I will at least get the news of what you're doing, what you're up to, and things like that. But Vrindavan means we'll be disconnected. Those days there was no um, phone and email, and there was none of these technologies. She wanted to be connected to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, mhm, to be connected to the devotees, to be connected to the Lord is what is expected out of a devotee, is what is expected out of everyone, in fact. The more we are in connection um, with the devotees of the Lord, the more we are in contact with the Supreme Lord Himself. And to be in contact with the Lord, we have to be in contact with the devotees. Srila Prabhupada would give this example that sitting here, how is it possible that we can be in contact with God? One time Prabhupada was there in a news channel, and they asked Prabhupada that sitting here, God is somewhere. We can't even see him. God, Bhagavan to kahin aur par hai. So how can we sitting here, how can we stay in touch with God? And Srila Prabhupada had to that, he very interestingly Prabhupada replied, if you are sitting in Mumbai, is it possible to get the news of what is going on in Delhi? Yes. There was no TV probably back then. There was TV, but the radio was prominent. Prabhupada said, through radio, if you connect to the exact wavelength, exact frequency, 98.3 FM or whatever, any of those channels, whatever. So sitting in Mumbai, you will know what is going on in Delhi. And sitting in Delhi, you will know what is going on in Bangalore. And now technology is such, sitting in India, you can get to know what is going on in the US. And sitting in the US, you exactly know what is going on in India and vice versa. So is it possible that sitting in one place, you can get the exact knowledge, exact details of what is happening in a place that is very distant, very far away? Yes, possible. Through technology, it's possible. So Prabhupada said, just like radio, when you're in close proximity to radio and you connect with that frequency, you connect with a complete different destination altogether. Prabhupada said similarly, when you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you're connecting to the frequency of God. You're sitting in contact with God. And naturally, as you're chanting and you're sitting in contact with God, you're connecting to the frequency of God. You are naturally close to the Supreme Lord. You start understanding what is going on in the spiritual world, what is going on in the heart of Krishna, etc. So, is it possible? Very much possible. So, staying around devotees will is what that will inspire our heart um, to take this leap of faith. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had so much desire to go to Vrindavan Dham. Dham jana hai. Oftentimes, when friends come together, the desire is less to go to Vrindavan Dham. The desire is more to go to picture, मूवी देखने जाना है नया मूवी निकला मूवी देखने जाएंगे नहीं नहीं प्रभु जी आईपीएल फाइनल है हम आईपीएल फाइनल देखने जाएंगे एंड वॉट एवर ओलंपिक्स इज गोइंग ऑन लेट्स ऑफ कोर्स वी फ्रॉम इंडिया वी कैन नॉट फ्लाई टू पेरिस टू सी ओलंपिक्स बट स्टिल बैठ के सब टीवी में देखेंगे नाइट आउट करेंगे प्रभु जी दिस इज व्हाट मोस्ट पीपल डू व्हेन फ्रेंड्स कम टुगेदर Krishna consciousness is a far-fetched reality. Oftentimes, it is just material sense gratification. Let's go to a restaurant together. खाने चलते पार्टी मेरी तरफ से मैं पार्टी दूंगा like everyone go to restaurant. Now, this is what happens normally. Boys, girls doesn't matter. Even India is fast catching up. Mhm. But genuine sadhaka is such. Rupa Goswami says, Asat Sanga Tyag e Vaishnavachar. A genuine practitioner is someone who tries to stay away from Asat Sanga, non-devotee association, because he understands that that is detrimental for his Krishna consciousness. Mhm. Oftentimes, what happens is, there's this nice example that I heard a couple of days back. If you sit in a flight, and if suppose you have to go from India to US, like for example, Mumbai to Seattle, if you have to take a flight. So when you sit on the flight, you see you have that TV. Most flights have that TV. Mm. Of course, if you sit in Air India, then the TV will also be broken. But if you sit in any other decent flight, then yeah, that TV is functional. Uh, Now, oftentimes we see the small reels and shots of how people say that Air India flights are like the seats are torn, you can't recline those seats, the TV is non-functional and things like that. So oftentimes when you sit in those flights and you have the TV, it will show that map that this place to this place. It will show like a line. यहाँ India है, यहाँ US है, and it is this line, right? It will show like that. But when the pilot is flying the aircraft, does he go straight? Is it that once he has taken off, अभी सीधा ही जाएंगे हम किधर और जाएंगे ही नहीं? Is it like that? No. He will go this way, this way, this way, this way because air pressure and turbulence is different in different places. So sometimes he will go straight, then he will go this way and again come back to that line, then again go straight, then again go this way and again come back to that line. So he will go this way, this way, this way, this way. Eventually he will reach the destination, right? It will never happen that चलो अभी take off कर लिया अभी हम सीधे जाएंगे अब क्रूज कंट्रोल में अब हम कुछ नहीं करेंगे अब सीधा पहुंच जाएंगे यूएस doesn't happen that way. He goes this way, this way, this way, this way. Eventually he comes back to that line, the original line that was given out to him, and then he reaches the destination. So this is our case. Right now we are in India, which is the start of our Krishna consciousness. Mhm. And US, for example, it's just an example. And US is, for example, Golok Vrindavan. Up from India or from Earth planet or wherever we are, we have to go to Golok Vrindavan. So we are like that pilot. Now we have started on our Krishna conscious journey. When initially we start our journey, oh, we are a very enthusiasm. Like Sunday feast attend करना है, morning program attend करना है, माला करनी है, ये करना है, वो करना है, सब कुछ करना है. So we have taken off. With full force we have taken off. बाद में क्या होता है? We know what happens after that. There is no taste for chanting, there is no taste for morning program, there is no taste for hearing. There is taste for only one thing, that is Maha Prasade Govinde. That is the only taste that is long lasting. So then what happens? We take off like the pilot, but then we again drift away. But then some devotee comes and inspires us. नहीं नहीं प्रभु जी ये करना है. Then we get inspired. हाँ नहीं नहीं करना है. Then we again come back. Then little we go ahead. Again we get drifted away. Again we go this way. Then again someone inspires. No no Prabhu ji, you have to again come back. हाँ yes. Yes. So we are also like that aircraft, that pilot. We keep going this way, this way, this way. We know we have to go straight, but we keep going. We keep swaying away by the air pressure of Maya. But eventually, even if we do it that way, we can be hopeful and rest assured. Even if we get swayed away here and there, if we are in contact with devotees, they will get us back to that one original line, which will help us reach the destination. Even if the flight goes here and there, here and there, here and there, we have the confidence कि pilot हमें पहुंचा देंगे, right? वो confidence है. Similarly, in our journey also of Krishna consciousness, there will never be a time when we are always enthused. ऐसे कभी नहीं होगा कि हमेशा उत्साहपूर्वक है हम, नहीं होता. It doesn't happen. Even the best among devotees have days when they are not enthused. But the only difference is they, even if they are not enthused, they still push themselves. There will be days when they don't want to get up in the morning, but they push themselves. कि करना है. I was seeing one um, some quotation somewhere, and it said what differentiates the best from the great. It was a sports personality. What differentiates the best from the great is both don't give up, but the difference is the greats they work on it. The best have the mentality ki yes yes I will not give up, but the greats do the actions to prove the point that yes I have this mentality of not giving up. So we may be best at this point, but we want to go towards greats. We want to make sure, even if we have a day that is not inspiring to us, we are not enthused, still I will get up in the morning. हम फिर भी उठेंगे, हम फिर भी माला करेंगे, हम फिर भी कथा श्रवण करेंगे. I mean, things may not be going on perfectly in my life. I may have thousand obstacles, but I will still not give up Krishna consciousness. Mhm. Uh, a- one preacher had said, I don't remember who, but someone had said it, and I heard it long back. And I'm paraphrasing, I still don't remember it exactly, but it was something on the lines like the worst day in Krishna consciousness is still better than the best day in our material life. Such an interesting statement, right? The worst day, सबसे खराब दिन कृष्णा कॉन्शियस में, मानो हमारे काउंसलर ने हमें चिल्लाया है, माला नहीं हुआ है, श्रवण नहीं हुआ है, एकादशी है, हम एकादशी भी तोड़ दिए मानो गलती से. Nothing has gone right. But still, the worst day in Krishna consciousness is better than the best day of our material life, of our material pursuits. So we have to still keep going on. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would say, how much ever the process of Krishna consciousness is distasteful for us, we should still keep doing it. We have to still march on. Like Rupa Goswami gives this example. स्यात् कृष्ण नाम चरितादि सिताप्य पित्य पित्तोपतप्त रसनस्य न रोचिकानो किन्त्वा धराद अनुदिनं खलु सैव जुस्त स्वाद्वी क्रमात् भवति तत् गदमूल हंत्रि. In Nectar of Instruction, verse 7, Rupa Goswami gives this famous example of the sugar cane, ganna. Now in India, it's so popular, not in the West. If you come to the US, you will not find a lot of sugarcane juice shops. Of course, there's no concept of having stalls like on the road like India. India में every nook and corner you will find stalls. उसका भी अलग मजा है. Now when you come this side of the world, you miss that side of the world. And when you are there too much, you feel, अरे, outside countries they're so clean and things like that. But it's other side of the grass is always green. When you are here, you remember India. When you're in India, you are like, अरे कब फिर से जाएंगे or whatever. But here you find you will not find sugarcane juice and things like that. It's only in summer that in the shops you will find cut sugar canes. Hmm? But no concept like you go to a shop owner and say, "Arey sugarcane juice चाहिए or ganne ka ras चाहिए or whatever." So Rupa Goswami gives this example. During rainy season, ideally it's always said that one should not drink sugarcane juice. Why? Because it's the cause for jaundice. During rainy season, when someone drinks sugarcane juice, it is the cause for jaundice. That's what science says. And when someone has jaundice, we see they lose taste. Even the body becomes pale and they lose taste. खाने का मन नहीं करता and कुछ स्वाद नहीं लगता. Even if you give them, something very tasty, matar paneer or whatever, like puri, chole or whatever. Even that something that is very tasty for everyone, they will not have taste. Why? Because it is not that the substance is not tasty. The problem is in the person. He is having jaundice. He is diseased. The object that is provided to him is very, very tasty. Right? So Rupa Goswami says, for such a person who has jaundice, even if you give sugarcane juice, he will say, oh, this is very bitter. ये बहुत कड़वा है. If someone has had jaundice, they will resonate. For a person who has had jaundice, if you give sugarcane juice, he will say, this is very bitter. बहुत कड़वा है. But in reality, sugarcane juice kadwa. Is it bitter? No, it is sweet. So where is the problem lying? It is not lying in the sugarcane juice. The problem is lying in the person. He is diseased. But interestingly, it is said that the cause for jaundice is sugarcane juice, and the medicine to recover back is also sugarcane juice. If someone wants to recover from jaundice through sugarcane juice itself, he can be recovered. So by drinking the juice again and again and again, initially he feels bitter, but then comes a point when that person says, no, 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 this is not bitter. This is actually very sweet. Rupa Goswami gives this example saying, we are all diseased. We are all having the jaundice of avidya. We have become forgetful of Krishna. And that is why now even the sweet sugarcane juice like Krishna consciousness, we feel bitter. अरे ये कितना बोरिंग है. ये वही वही माला करना है. वही वही कथा है. मुझे पता है ये सब. हमें ये सब, we already know this. The mind starts saying, oh, this is very boring. And the sad part is we have still not got taste in bhakti. But Rupa Goswami says, just like by having the sugarcane juice again and again, the disease can be removed completely. Similarly, by hearing about Krishna, by chanting about Krishna again and again and again, that Krishna Katha and that Krishna Naam, which is bitter at this point, eventually will be the cause for the sweetness in our tongue. Eventually, by doing it again and again, we will start experiencing taste in that path. Otherwise, how is it that we see so many devotees, so many pure devotees who are there, day in and day out, माला करते हैं, day in and day out कथा श्रवण करते हैं, इतनी रुचि कहाँ से आ रही है? Which means there is some taste. We have not got it, but someone has got it. Which means the process is bona fide. Which means the process has taste. Mhm. So the point I'm trying to uh, hammer here is, if we are around devotees, we have to try to surround ourselves with devotees. Asat Sangat Tyag Ei Vaishnavachar. Rup Goswami is saying this point that वैष्णव आचार, वैष्णव का आचार यही है, वैष्णव का लक्षण यही है कि जो असत संग है, जो भगवत भक्ति के इस मार्ग से विमुख है, हम उनका संग छोड़ दें, उनका संग त्याग कर दें. We stay away from them. If we are youths and we are in school and we are in college or we are working professionals, how much ever is required we associate with them. काम के लिए बस. If it's assignments, projects, things like that, how much ever is required, but not too much association in the sense we hang around with them, we go to theater with them, uh, we go to parties with them, we go to restaurants with them, we go to this with them, we go to that with them. Then what will happen? In the pretext of friendship, we are drowning our Krishna consciousness and we are drowning ourselves also. Mhm. So, in that way, Mahaprabhu surrounded himself with like minded Vaishnavas, and that's why the fire of going to Vrindavan was always ignited in his heart. He was surrounding himself with Swarup Damodar Goswami, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Raya Ramananda, and so many others. So, this is our philosophy, this is our mood. We have to be around devotees as much as possible. So, let's continue. So, this was just this was just an overview of Mahaprabhu going to Vrindavan as to what we discussed last time. Now we will start. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu crossed the river next morning in the boat sent by the governor. The governor personally accompanied him past Mantreshwara with 10 boats filled with soldiers. Thus, Lord Chaitanya reached Panihati and visited Ragha Pandit's house. You know, Ragha Pandit, we have discussed this earlier in the Panihati section. Ragha Pandit is a very dear and expert cook of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while at the same time he's also cook for Srimati Radharani. Raghav Pandit is a very expert cook in the spiritual world who cooks for Srimati Radharani. He's in the camp of Srimati Radharani. And when you do Govardhan Parikrama, you will find that there's one cave called as Raghav Pandit Gufa. Gufa means cave. So when you do Govardhan Parikrama, it will not be in the direct path. You have to be like the airplane pilot. Thoda detour lena padega. You have to go a little outside of the normal Parikrama mark. But there's a place called as Raghav Pandit Gufa. And it is believed that is the place when Raghav Pandit was in Vrindavan. He would do bhajan in that gufa. And it is also said, now the cave is very small. It is extremely small. When he was there, of course, it was a place where probably someone could do bhajan. But now, over a period of 500 years, the cave has become so small that you can't even enter. But the Brajavasis say, um, and it's not a shastric thing, but it's a लौकिक. ये शास्त्र का मत नहीं है ये लेकिन लौकिक है. It's what people in Braj believe that if someone goes inside the cave of Raghav Pandit Gufa, then he comes out from the other side, which is Golok Vrindavan. The Brajabasi say it that way. That if you go into the Raga Pandit Gufa, other side you come out is Golok Vrindavan. Again, it's not a Shastri thing, but ये ब्रजवासी गण का मत मानना है कि राघव पंडित इतने बड़े वरिष्ठ साधु थे कि यदि कोई उस गुफा में चला जाए तो मानो अब गोलोक धाम जाकर ही मानेगा जाकर ही will end. So that Raghav Pandit Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meets in Panihati. Later he went to Srivas Thakur's house at Kumarhatta, Shivananda Sen's house at Kanchadapada, Vasudev Datta's house, Vidyavachaspati's house at Vidyanagar, where great crowds gathered to see the Lord. Out of fear of the Lord left at night and went to Kuliagram and stayed at Madhav Das's house. There he excused Gopal Chapal and many atheists and blasphemers and gave them love of Krishna. So here the pastime of Gopal Chapal is there. Actually, Gopal Chapal's pastime has been mentioned in the start of Adi Lila, but we didn't do the Adi Lila. We just did the end of Adi Lila and then we started with Madhya Lila. So I will very briefly describe what this pastime of Gopal Chapal is. It's a very prominent pastime. Mahaprabhu, when he was there in Nadia in Navadvip, all night he would chant and dance in the house of Srivas. Hours and hours of chanting every single night. Like, Bhagavad Gita says, what is day for the karmis is night for the devotees. What is night for the devotees, and no vice versa. So when everyone would sleep at night, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would be awake and he would chant and dance for hours together. Srivas Angan. In the West, Prabhupada gave different places to different cities. It started with New Vrindavan. Prabhupada in a letter he writes that, oh, your country is expert in stealing. It steals everything from other countries. Prabhupada is addressing to US. Oh, there is York, your country makes it New York. There is something, your country gives it. Boston is called New England. So Prabhupada writes, York it becomes New York. England becomes New England. So your country is expert in stealing. So why not we make New Vrindavan? Why not we bring that Vrindavan here? And Prabhupada writes, from this day, West Virginia will be Sri New Vrindavan Dham. So Prabhupada had this habit of giving spiritual names to different places. Likewise, for Los Angeles, he gave it as New Dwarka. For San Francisco, he gave it as New Jagannath Puri. Um, and then France was New Mayapur. And so many places that way were given different names. Likewise, many devotees say Hawaii was given the name New Shiva Sangan. There's a place called as Hawaii. So Prabhupada gave it the name, or it's believed um, either Prabhupada gave it the name or eventually the name was given as New Shiva Sangan. Mhm. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would dance like this for hours and hours together. And there was one person by the name Gopal Chapal, and he was very envious of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Actually, we have discussed this. When we started our series of Chaitanya Charitamrita in the third or fourth class, um, we spoke about Devakinandan Thakur, and we also sang the song Vrindavana Vasi Chata. So we spoke that past, and nonetheless, I will still repeat it. This Gopal Chapal was very envious of Srivas. So one day at night, he kept liquor bottle outside the house of Srivas, and he kept different paraphernalia for um, Devi Puja. So the next day morning, when the locals got up, they saw, oh, outside the house of Srivas, there is liquor bottle and all these things. And Gopal Chapal came there and said, oh, look, Srivas, at night, this is what he's doing. Inside, he's drinking, he's having intoxication. And people are saying he's some advanced devotee. This is what he is doing. So when Srivas got to know, Srivas came outside and Srivas saw all this. And he didn't retaliate. He said, yes, look at me. I'm very duplicit. This is what actually I'm doing inside. Now, if we were there, we would have said, nahin, 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 hum ye nahi karte. And which also makes sense because if we are not intoxicating, why will we accept? Why will the devotees accept? But Srivas is on another level. He is dancing with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Gopal Chapal is saying, yes, he's intoxicated. Srivas saying, yes, yes, I'm intoxicated. I'm intoxicated by being in the presence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is my intoxication. But eventually, uh, the locals over there, they understood that Srivas cannot do this. He is so dear to the heart of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he cannot do this. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood that this is what Gopal Chapal has done. Eventually, in a few days, because Gopal Chapal um, criticized and tried to defame Srivas, he was in a state of practically death in the form of leprosy. He acquired leprosy. And leprosy, of course, now it's not prominent because medical technology, medical science has improved to an extent where we don't find leprosy patients as such. But 500 years back, it was pretty prominent, where your body parts melt, your nose melts, fingers melt, ears melt, the body starts melting. That's leprosy, and it's contagious. It can spread. Um, and Gopal Chapal was in that state. There's this one famous video of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and he speaks about his journey. And he speaks as to how one time he was in the Himalayas and all those places. He came across a community, came across a street where it was filled with leprosy patients. The whole street were filled with leprosy patients. And he was Bhakta Richard, was like a 19-year-old. And he was in a colony that was filled with leprosy patients. And as he was trying to navigate that way, people saw his white skin and they thought, oh, he will have money. So all of them practically pounced on him to get some money, and they were all leprosy patients, and leprosy is contagious. And Maharaj, in that, he says, I felt that all this leprosy is going to come on me. And of them, there's this one lady who was sitting on the corner. So Maharaj naturally was pulled to go towards her, and Maharaj he went to her, and she looked at uh, Maharaj and she said, Bakshish, Bakshish, if you have something, please give me. So, of course, he didn't have anything because he himself was hitchhiking his way all the way from Chicago um, to India. So, he himself didn't have anything. And when she got to know he doesn't have anything, still she took her um, hand, which was completely melted. And the fingers were all melted. She took her hand and she placed it on the head of Radhana Swami, and she was rubbing it this way and said, long live, my dear son. May you live long. I bless you. May you live long. And she was smiling. And Radhana Swami Maharaj, he says, she was the most beautiful woman I ever saw in my life. Not externally, internally. Because externally there was nothing. The whole body had melted, hands had melted. But he said, even in such a state, when you are practically dying, you have the large heart, the compassion of blessing someone else. He said that was very transforming. It was very impactful. That there can be people who are struggling themselves but are ready to offer all blessings to others. So here Gopal Chapel. Actually, that video is there online. I may not do justice, but for those who may have heard it, the title, the YouTube video goes by something on the most beautiful woman I ever met, rather by Radhanan Swami, something like that. It's a three and a half minute audio recording, but very beautifully Maharaj speaks about his journey there. Gopal Chappal had leprosy, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not ready to forgive him. So eventually, Gopal Chappal, when he was pleading to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu said, "You go back to Srivas. You criticize Srivas, so you go back to Srivas. If Srivas forgives, then I will forgive." So he went back to Srivas and begged outside the house of Srivas. Srivas, when he came outside, Srivas said, "What happened?" Gopal Chappal said, "Look at me. My body is belching. You please protect me. Rakshasvamam." And Srivas said, "I didn't consider any offense. I didn't. You don't have to ask for apologies and forgiveness. I didn't take it as offense. But nonetheless, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said it, I will forgive you." And the moment Srivas forgave, leprosy of Gopal Chappal was completely taken away and he was completely cured. And then that Gopal Chappal becomes Devaki Nandan Thakur. And he composed the song that we have sung before. Vrindavana Vasijata Vaishnavera Gana. And it goes that way. He glorifies different devotees of Navadvip, Vrindavan, Jagannath Puri, and so many others. Hmm. Devaki Nandana Dase Elo Bekaya. In the last paragraph, he ends by writing his name that this Devaki Nandan Thakur um, is praying that, "My dear Lord, please accept me." So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he goes to the house of even Gopal Chapel. Hearing that the Lord was going to Vrindavan, Narasimhananda Brahmachari mentally contemplated a broad road for him starting from Kulia. There's a devotee by the name Narasimhananda Brahmachari. And he, in his mind, he made a broad road for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu starting from Kulyagram. In his mind, he was visualizing how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going. But as he was visualizing, there is something interesting happens. In his mental bhajan, in his mental meditation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu walking, there is something very interesting happens in this section of Gaurilla as Mahaprabhu is going to Vrindavan. What happens? We will see that tomorrow. Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai. Gaura Premanande.